Just a slight change in the program is that Rogue is in meetings, so I'm going to do this chat about animation because obviously it's something where people are thinking, oh, animation can be the saving grace. We don't have to shut down animation, but we're going to find out if that is true or not. So Cecile's coming back from Anton, and we also have Laurent Zeytoun from Good Hero. Please, thank you. Should I move over? Oh, hello. So yeah, we're just getting cleaned up. I like this, disinfecting the stage every time. Thank you, people, for helping us. Stay safe. Yeah, please stick with us. Yeah, I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about, is it Fire Heat?
Fireheart.
Fireheart. That's how I can't read my writing. That's a bad sign for a journalist. Yeah, I would just like to hear just the background of Fireheart and how you're working together and how the project came about and how, then we'll talk about how it might have been impacted.
Yes.
Okay, Fireheart.
Actually, my background as producer, and we have made a lot of movies with Gaumont, is live action. So
yeah.
We arrive by chance.
Because you did Intouchable and
Intouchable, yeah, and
lots of big films, yeah.
Yeah, The Death of Stalin too.
Yes.
And we arrived by chance in animation. The first movie we have produced and developed was Ballerina, released a few years ago, and we have to build up our own animation facilities, studios in Montreal. So it was natural to develop another one, another story, environment, but always in the same line of adventure movie, inspirational, fun, and imaginary.
Okay. And for families, or sort of what age children, or for adults too? Or?
For children from 7 to 77.
Okay, I fit in there. Good.
Yes, I think we all fit in there.
And yeah, because it feels to me, I don't even write that much about animation because it feels like a separate industry. It's a separate world of people. Sometimes it's a separate world of finance. Not always. Obviously, there's some overlap. But, was it sort of nerve-wracking doing Ballerina as
yes.
learning about the whole animation process?
Well, the time we were producing Ballerina, we have the time to produce 7 live action. But we were really bad at the time, I think, in animation.
But I mean, yeah, I don't have the patience to follow a fiction, live action. I mean, such patience required in animation and longevity, I guess, of the project.
You were talking about the blurry lines between film and TV. There are exactly the same blurry lines today between live action and animation.
Okay.
For sure.
Good.
It's more and more, let's say, mixed and blend. Still, if you want to have an image on my perspective, live action would be a sprint on track and field. Okay? Big energy, you prepare and it's...
Go.
Exactly, and you put all greatest effort, and then you finish and it's done. Animation is really a marathon. Really calling for other energy, more collaborative, more technical in a way. And I would say that live action really relies on a director with a vision or a strong director.
Yeah.
Animation is really about the team behind the director and the story.
Yeah. And Cecile, how much animation did you sell at Gaumont? or none?
Actually, ballerina.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, and
And why did you take a chance on that then, to get into this sort of slightly new world for you?
you mean at that time on ballerina?
Yeah, ballerina.
The script, the world of dance. We created like a great marketing box for all the buyers at that time. I mean, that was very new for all of us, and we were very excited to do so and to be good at it. And I remember sending myself this box to Disney, Pixar. Yeah, a lot of distributors or big studio in the US, DreamWorks at that time, I don't know, saying, oh, you know, we're doing this. I was so proud. And I remember, I think it's an executive from Pixar sent it back to me saying, I can't accept it because we don't want to be accused of copying
Yes.
or stealing some
The trade
ideas.
secrets, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And how did Ballerina go? It went well?
Went very well, over $1 million at the box office, sold
Wow.
worldwide.
Yeah, okay.
I remember we had constant requests from distributors for a ballerina too. But Laurent developed and wrote Fireheart, which is sold everywhere right now, except the US. We're working on that right now.
Okay. And Anton is in on that?
Anton, yeah,
Okay.
co-finance.
Co-finance and,
Fireheart.
And is it of a similar budget level that Ballerina was, or is it bigger?
Yes, our sweet spot so there's millions, let's say, genre in animation: 3D animation, 2D animation, mainstream entertainment, which is more related to, let's say, studio quality, and then you have lower quality. So we have found a sweet spot to produce mainstream entertainment around 35 million US dollars.
Okay.
Which is enough to make amazing animation, but
Yeah.
maybe the hair won't move like in Brave, or the cloth would be crazy like in Disney movies. So, but it's quite amazing.
And Fireheart, that again is for 7 to 77. Can you tell us the story?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's set in New York in the 30s. And there is an arsonist who's burning down Broadway theaters one by one. But very strange fires, purple smoke, strange light, and all the firemen who goes inside the theater, they vanish. They disappear. And actually there's a big investigation running from a next legend of firefighter. But his daughter wants to be a fireman for a long time, and women were not allowed
Okay, yeah, of course.
to
in
be
the 30s,
firemen at the
yeah.
time. So she gonna decide to work with his dad, dress up as a man.
Okay, cool. So it's a
And run
feminist
in-
slant and
Exactly.
period piece and
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's around the environment of firefighters. Actually, we work with Rothschild Jones, who were the first female firefighter in New York. And do you know when was it? Do you have an idea?
I'm scared to think it's more recent than I think.
Yeah.
80s?
82.
Okay.
Exactly. So
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another reason to know we need the film.
Yeah.
And Rogue was telling me, and I'm going to see if this is true, that these large-scale animated features are the most profitable projects in the landscape right now. Is that? Do you think that's true?
Profitable, I don't know, but attractive, yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, of course, we are an independent company production, but Ballerina has, I think we have made 110 million US dollar box office, and it cost around 30. So yes, the balance is quite amazing.
That's good numbers. I think anybody in the room would want those numbers. Yeah.
Still, it's difficult. I mean, there's no magical trick, or we have go through many risks, building our own facilities to handle the budget and to work on the budget. And today it's a success. But believe me, switching from live action to animation was a huge leap.
And yeah, what's been the learning? There's probably 100.
Every day,
yeah.
learning.
Is there something you learned on Ballerina you're now trying to work with in Fire, or just in terms of the logistics or the production?
Yes, I mean, once again, it's on my perspective.
Yeah.
We took Ballerina as a movie. Producing a movie, animation movie, was very blurry, and it was one big block. With the time and the experience, we have defined more the pre-production, which is crucial, and the production, which is the manufacture of the movie. Like, it's nearly, if you are in fashion design, you create the pattern, and then you send it to the factory to build, the volume. So the pre-production, which is the script, the storyboard, the previs, creating the old environment, modeling, texturing, even the voices, it's really pre-prod. It's not so expensive. It's around 10% of the budget. And at the end of this, let's say, phase, you have your movie.
Yeah.
It's edited, and you just have to find the right factory to make it.
But I remember what we learned from the Ballerina experience is that, which can be very scary sometimes. I remember Laurent showing us the animatic and saying, "Oh, you know, this doesn't work. We're gonna change the script." So the script was they restart and change a lot of things in the script, and so we said, "But we don't have time. But you already produced." But so no, especially in this. In the level of budget we're talking about, like the very biggest independent animation, you have to be, don't be scared by changing the script in the middle of the way.
And in the previous, you said, and here there will be a big explosion, and it will be. You nearly see puppets moving, so it's you need to have imagination. Yeah. Also, the big difference between live action and animation is that in live, you shoot the movie and then you edit. In animation, you edit the movie.
Yeah.
By shots. Exactly. Yeah. And then you manufacture it in a way that you shoot it.
Yeah.
So it's another mindset.
And where are you at in the process with Fireheart right now?
So I was sad to hear that all the live action movie shooting were stopped. Actually, I'm co-producing a live action movie. We had to stop the post-production, but we didn't stop for animation because we were in a process where we were able to have all the people there's around 200 people working on the movie.
Mostly in Montreal?
Mostly in Montreal, and now they work remotely from home.
Okay.
With a crazy security.
Yeah. So were you able to get them working from home, within a few weeks? Because obviously they would normally go into an office, and it's a different...
In 2 days, actually.
In 2 days.
You decided to...
Yeah.
But actually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but all the creative people, the designers, the animators... In animation, they used to work remotely.
Okay.
For instance, illumination, in Santa Monica, illumination in Paris with MacGuff, they work all together remotely, and you have a lot of, especially the big studio, they have teams working all around the world, so they're used to it.
Yeah.
But still, you can't do animation just because of you can produce during a pandemic.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is, are we worried that people are like, well, I can't shoot my film, I'll just animate it and hire some cheap guys in China to animate it all for me.
So first, good luck.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few thinking that, but no, that's not going to work. But do we think there's going to be more... maybe animation ready next year than normally would be? Or it's such a long process that it might be 5 years before we see some animation projects that people are starting now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think we would have been really in a big trouble if the pandemic would have hit during the pre-production. You need to be in an office.
You need those
with
meetings.
The storyboarders at some point. Talking about the previs, deciding on models, testing some moves, and we won't have done it. So because we were really advanced in production, meaning lighting, compositing, animation, we have been able to, and all the guidelines were set. So
Okay timing, if it had to happen. Yeah.
yeah, okay timing.
Yeah.
But
Will it delay the? When are you going to expect it to deliver the film? Will it delay that at all?
February, still
Okay.
still February. Even the voices, we making pickups with Kenneth Branagh, who's in London. He will be alone in his studio,
Okay.
recording, and I'll run the session by Zoom. So
Okay.
Animation is COVID friendly.
Yes, it
Yes.
really is. Yeah.
yes, but still, you do animation related to a story,
Yeah.
to an environment, to a character, and yeah, it's not okay. I switch to
Yeah, I'm
animation.
just going to animate this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't really, that idea doesn't really work. So Rogue is also telling me that the streamers, there's been a sort of statement that suggests they might buy, 15+% and more animated product in the next few years. And that could be some quite formulaic, not as high end as you're going. Do you think the market could get saturated even before COVID, just with these streamers wanting some more cheap family animation?
I think Fireheart is not concerned by that, but
No.
because when you talk about this big scale entertainment movie, family movie, you need a theatrical experience. But actually, the film is sold worldwide with very big key distributors who still very motivated, who want to put P&A and want to go theatrical with this. The US, that will be definitely a discussion, a conversation around with streamers, because it's very tough today to have a studio or a distributor putting a $20 million or $30 million commitment on an animated movie. So yeah, the conversation will, especially on this, will take place for the US.
Yeah.
But it's true also that they're eager for more projects and more film. But I think they're ready to pre-buy and to develop originals, but big scales.
Okay, bigger scale,
Yeah.
not just cheap crap, we hope. And Cecile, what would you say the market is for this level of, European sort of non-studio animation? It's quite a big, it's a project of ambition and scale. It's not like a cheap, rushed out. But, what is the market hungry for those?
I think so, because the only challenge, as I said, is the P&A on those films, because it requires a lot of expenses to be visible by this target audience. So when you decide to go theatrical on an animated movie, you need to go wide. So there's no way that you're really small on this kind of movie. So that's the only
Need a healthy P&A spend to back this up. Yeah.
But except the US, there's still a need for, let's say, family content for theatrical release worldwide, except the US once again, and it's more, as Cécile said, related to the cost of releasing an animation movie.
Especially now in COVID.
Yes.
The shelter at home crowd, I would say, they need to screen films with their kids. I mean, people.
If it was out tomorrow, I think it would be booming.
Yeah,
maybe
but
more so than Tenet, because I think people want to take the kids to
the
the cinema.
example of World Tour Trolls from Universal and DreamWorks. They did so. They released it in premium VOD during COVID and did $100 million just on premium VOD. So if there's definitely a market audience at home.
Yeah, there's a market at home, and in the these films do very well in the cinemas. But does it feel like this is of equal interest as a Pixar film, or is that sort of a global juggernaut that feels a bit different level? And do you worry about Pixar? Does Pixar keep you up at night? Laurent, worried about Pixar?
No, they inspired
Disney?
me, actually.
Okay.
No. Once again, it's all about the story and what kind of animation you want to do. You were talking about cheap animation. I would say that when you want to see an animation movie, I would say that there are two kinds of, there's the babysitter's animation, where you put your kids in front of the TV and the movie, let's say, is the babysitter, and sometimes it's not very good.
Yeah.
And then there's animation movie that you want to share with your kids in family. And here you could go on more complex stories, emotional journey, theme, difficult themes such as death, revenge, and inspirational messages.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, films like Song of the Sea or
Exactly,
sort of Laika's films.
exactly.
These are really interesting. Or The Courgette, of course, from Switzerland a few years ago.
But you could do a big entertaining movie with these emotions and values. So it really depends what kind of story you want to tell.
And so COVID won't I'm repeating myself, but it won't slow you down at all. Are you going to be a week late? No, you're not even going to...
I feel ashamed, but maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
I would say. No. But I can tell you, we didn't stop the production.
Okay.
But we had an extra cost. We had to...
Set people up at home is a different
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Working on VPN security, calling from the render farm where you render your images, they have to connect it. It's an old mess. Also, some talent don't have the computer to work and to we had to work and to finance some computers, nearly I think 70 in total.
Okay.
Anyway, there have been extra costs for sure.
In terms of compared to shutting down Batman because Robert Pattinson has COVID, not as
one you want to
expensive.
die, and the other one you just
Yeah.
don't sleep for a few days.
So basically, Laurent, producing animation depends on the IT guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They help.
Exactly.
Well, on a serious note, why did you choose Montreal? Do they have, a tax incentive for animation, or were they particularly, because you could probably go to India and set up an animation studio, and there's an animation studio I know in Iran, and there's other places. So why Montreal?
So your first, let's say, instinct is to find the best tax shelter. And tax incentive. So, of course, Montreal was not on the top of the list. No. You could go...
Puerto Rico or somewhere.
Even in Spain. There's amazing places where the tax credit is really bigger. Even Belgium. And then when it comes to create the movie and make it, you put in the balance the talent and the level of the artistic level of the talents. So you find you're looking for a balance. Montreal was good for this. It's a hub for special effects because animation today you could consider some big Marvel movies that it's animation. All the characters are animated. So let's say that the pot of talent was huge in Montreal. But there's other places, for sure.
Is there anywhere else that you would sort of point out as a place where we might see more animation
I believe in Europe, for instance.
Europe?
Yes.
Yeah.
UK, today Belfast is...
they do a lot.
Super aggressive.
Dublin has a bit too, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. France, obviously. I believe that Spain and Italy, they have amazing talent. It's also related to the educational system of animation, storyboard art. Exactly.
Interesting. Does anybody have a question about animation before we wind up this one? Hello, Bueller? No? Why don't we wrap just a few words about, you know, if somebody's thinking about doing animation, what would you say to them? Story?
Or don't do it.
Don't do it, because you're doing it better.
Story. Always story. I don't know, Cécile, but yes.
Cécile,
the
yeah.
concept, the promise of a great adventure, but always project in animation. It's important to have the final image before diving in, because it's really bumpy.
Yes. Okay. And how many years in total do you think you'll be working on Fireheart? How many years, the whole process?
Too much.
Too many? 5 years?
I think, yeah, in total 5 years. Yes, the start of the production is 5 years.
Wow. I just can't even picture it. I get bored
Don't.
after a week of something. I don't know. Yeah. And Cécile, any final thoughts about, you know, the market for animation? Strong.
Yeah, I think especially when you have a good package,
Yeah.
a very strong script, the visual background, the crew, the executive, the animator. I mean, it's all about the coherence of the whole package. Yeah, I think there is an appetite both for theatrical and for streamers, for sure.
Great. Well, I can't wait to see Fireheart, this little girl in 1930s New York fighting fires. It sounds wonderful. I'm really glad to hear that you're one of the 2020 success stories and you didn't have to shut down and moving online in 2 days. That's a great pivot. So well done. Good luck with the rest.
Thank you.
We are going to take a short, a round of applause. Thank you.